back to another Let's Play. We're doing another Doom and Chill map. This time we are playing Sunder Map 2 with La Taylor Girl as the mod. And this is the last map that I will be doing for this particular series because, as you'll see later on, this is truly a nightmare. One of the issues here is I was actually recording this while I was playing a game of D&D with my pals. I have no idea what was going on there. I think we killed one of the big bads. Had a big epic plan where we murdered him in a back alley, and he turned out to be far worse than we thought we could handle. It was pretty cool. I gotta admit, I really like this map. Even though Sunder is one of the most difficult maps for slaughter maps I've played that are, not complete total bullshit, it's really fun. And very creative. We'll see some pretty cool and unique areas in this map alone. So you'll see those when we get to them. It's also probably a good sign when a map makes revenants more challenging than two cyber demons. You don't get that particular issue usually. Now, I have not been on YouTube in a little bit, and there's a couple of reasons why. Mostly, YouTube is much more of like a hobby and a de-stressor for my other projects. And what I find is between main projects, I'm going to be trying to do more YouTube content. It's never going to be my main thing. Let's just put it out here. If you like playing my visual novels, if you like reading my books, if you like following me on Twitter and seeing all the weird perverted shit I put on there, then you'll always get that. That's never going to change until, the world dooms us all for daring to push the boundaries of storytelling and creating fringe content, which YouTube's already done. So, I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep making what I make, and hopefully it won't be too bad. We're in a really weird place creatively wise. I like to say we are both in the best and the worst of times, because we both have an increasing freedom to see amazing, weird shit being made by creators. I follow all kinds of interesting and weird things that are being made actively on places like Itch or Steam, or I think Manga Gamer is the place where I got a couple of VNs. We're seeing a lot of really interesting and weird stuff come out. I'd say my favorite of which is probably Operation Novel so far, just because, we need more Codename Kids Next Door stuff, just period. Anything. I don't care what it is. We just need more. And we're also at a point where everything is becoming more and more censored. Like, we're getting the most creative stuff we have seen because of the lack of censorship. And then people are trying to retaliate there because they're getting scared. They don't understand the new thing. They think it's all evil and vile, and the people who are making it are evil and vile too. But their reactions might only just push us further. Also, this thing. The Squidward head. I don't know how they made this. I don't know why they made this. It is the coolest thing I think I've seen in Doom in a long, long time. But yeah, we're in a weird place creatively. I've made a bajillion remakes of an attempt at a podcast before I'm here right now saying, fuck it, I give up. I'm never going to be able to do a podcast because I'm too much of a fucking freak. I open my mouth, and within 10 minutes, shit normal people don't want to hear comes out, and I just can't help it. I'm a weirdo. I live in weird places. I come from anime hentai land. Welcome. We don't have normalcy here. We only have weirdness. And you're welcome to stay as long as you want, or welcome to leave if you don't like it. You don't have to be here. But this is weird anime hentai land, and we're gonna stay here and be doing our things, and you're welcome to join or not. We hold no grudges. We just open the invitation. And that's kind of the way that I think it should be. But, oh well, that's not how life usually works. When people don't understand it, they attack it. And I don't know. I'm getting sick of all of it. I'm going to try not to complain about YouTube censorship at this point because that's not going to change. There's going to be creators like Civi11, Shallow Grave, Seth Tazinch. There's a few people out there that just create and say, screw it, I'm going to do what I want. Fleekazoid's kind of like that, but I feel like he also bends the knee a little bit to try and make the extra moolah, which is a shame because he's all about those bigger budgets, and God, is he funny. I wish I could be half that funny, but anytime I give Emerald a chance to be in charge, he screams and rants, but he doesn't know how to be funny. But here we are. I kind of just fell in love with this room. It's not even like a fight. This is just something hilarious to play around in. I'm not even shooting them because I'm having more fun dodging their projectiles. I might like Toho Doom, but we will see if I ever get to that. I just realized I signed myself up for this for 30 fucking minutes and I have nothing to say. I'm not wearing my glasses, so I can't read anything I've ever written down, so that doesn't help. Let's see, I should have notes written down here. Pinterest. What about Pinterest? Right, Pinterest is a sinkhole. I remember back when Pinterest was a place where you would go to find maybe occasionally a really cool art piece that'd be similar to something on DeviantArt, but usually you would find like sewing patterns, cooking recipes, really cool clay mugs people have made. It was very much about the feminine arts, and I kind of liked that. Didn't want to admit it at the time because I was still trying to be all like, oh, I'm a macho man, and yada yada yada, and not wanting people to know how much of a freak I am, but that's fine. We're all a little bit freaky. Some of us a whole lot more than others. But all of us are at least a little bit. Nowadays, though, Pinterest has kind of sunk into a weird pit hole, and I've been thinking, it's like, all the weird artists, not the SJW cucks, not the porn artists, but the weird artists, the people that are just like, let's ship all the Loud House characters together and make a comic about it that is actually heartwarming somehow. Those artists have moved over to Pinterest. I don't know if they're intentionally on Pinterest or if their artwork's just been uploaded to Pinterest because, fans, it's almost like Pinterest is a guru for whatever kind of content you would like, and I like that. We need a guru for safe Western art. Not that I don't like unsafe Western art. I mean, look at my Twitter account. You will see. I do not work in safe Western art very often. But I also don't always want to make weird stuff, and I also don't want to get. Um, I don't want all of my reference art to be weird stuff. Sometimes I want to be inspired by normal things that are not pony related. We got Derpy Buru. Why can't we have just safe for work Western cartoon Buru? Please? That would be nice. I guess that's what DeviantArt's for, but DeviantArt's also become a sinkhole of censorship, and they're censoring things that don't even make sense. I rage quit there when I found out they censored like almost all of my comics that were pretty much tame. But yeah, Pinterest is an interesting sinkhole. I love it. I use it all the time. I look for cool references, and it's so full of lesbian horses and loud house incest that I don't know what to do with it anymore. Tried actually watching The Loud House, and it's an okay show. It's not bad, not by any measure of the meaning of bad. It's pretty good, just not outstanding. It's not like you go in and find Adventure Time levels of amazing, blowing your mind away. And I guess even an early Adventure Time didn't quite do that, but they did still have such a unique sense of humor that you could stay in there until it got crazy. But it's not a bad show. It's just, I think I just prefer the comics where they're shipping all those sisters together because I'm a fucking weirdo and that's what I like to see. You would think I'm almost like a happy version of VC Andrews, but that's probably true. I'm trying very hard to be at least not completely 100% weird here. There's a lot of things I do want to talk about. If I ever upload those podcasts, which I'm not going to, I will be deleting them soon. You'll hear it. I just am really mad at the way that itch.io picks favorites right now. There's a couple of things on there where they obviously do not have the same personal bias, and they're using the term offensive content as a weapon to attack individual artists that they don't agree with. And that's not cool. That's not what itch.io is for. It's there because of places like Steam that did that in the first place. And if Steam is becoming more user-friendly than itch, we're going to have a problem. A big problem. And that's not something that can be easily fixed. I might have to figure out how to do patches to my games. I mean, I know how to do different versions. Like, I can make a version that's SFW and a version that's not, but I don't know how to do patches. I might look into that and seeing if you can do that with RenPy. I'm sure you can. One of the differences is, though, that I also believe in letting the reader know what they're getting into. I mean, clearly not everything. Like, if you're going to be playing a rated R, rated MA, rated adult horror game, or a horror game that shows, like, bloody, spooky, scary stuff, just expect to see suicide and murder and child abuse and whatever other horrible things that are in horror games. If it's in Silent Hill, probably be there. That's horror genre for you. The difference is, I think, whether they show the child abuse or they talk about it. Like Silent Hill 3 will talk about it, they don't show it. And that's a big difference. If they were showing it, I would say probably need a content warning. Same thing with erotica. If you're going to be playing with certain ideas, probably best to let people know. You don't have to hide incest because I mean that's probably going to be in your tagline. Like, uh, this story's about a mom who was really lonely and then she found comfort in her son in more ways than one. Like, you know what you're getting into when you pick that up. People don't have to hold your hand and tell you that this game contains incest. However, there might be other tags that probably need to be there, like, you got anything that's a little bit more messy or filth related, you probably want to let people know. Be like, hey, these scenes are in here. If you're not into them and don't want to vomit, don't open the game. Or if there's playing with age limits, that's a nice way to say it. Fuck it. Fuck the algorithm. If there's lolicon or shotacon in it, just tell people. Just be like, yo, there's age-related stuff in this. If you're not into it, don't open the game. And that would have been helpful when I played Claire's Quest. Like, don't get me wrong, I think Claire's Quest is an amazing game. Wonderfully written. Absolutely horrifying most of the time. It didn't prepare me for the age-related content that was going to be in there, and I wish they would have. They would have just said, hey, this stuff exists. If you don't want to see the kinds of stuff that Exotic Condenser does on a daily basis, don't play our game. Hide it. But other games like Healthy Hentai Lifestyle probably needed a warning. Not even because the imagery, well, there's one image that's pretty bad, but most of the imagery is not that bad. But the writing on the other hand makes me feel a little bit disgusted, even though I kind of love the game. They had a really interesting idea for a lore and world setting, and they went for it. And I mean, they went for it. They actually tackled the questions that most people don't want to talk about when they make weird lore settings. Most people just ignore those questions, but Healthy Hentai Lifestyle said, nope, this is the question that's asked, this is what we're handling, you're going to see how it is handled, just like you would in a science fiction movie. Enjoy. Of course, they lie to you in the intro, but like, I have become more accepting to the type of lies that these games give for their warnings. I just wish they would give better warnings so that we would be able to avoid stuff that is not up our alley. We don't get that. We don't get people trying to be understanding because I guess if you admit that there's certain content in your game, there's a emotional liability to it, I guess. I don't really fucking know. I hate it because it's obviously there. If it was breaking some law, which it's not, but if it was, just putting in a fake warning that lies about what's in the game is not going to protect you. Okay? Might protect you from Patreon, but I mean, Patreon doesn't discriminate against specific fetishes. Usually. Think so long as you put the word play at the end, but usually just means you're role playing. You can probably get away with explaining what the content of your game is with that. That sounds fine. I mean, people role play weird shit all the time. In fact, if you look up what the most role played things are, It's probably not surprising what's in those lists, actually, but there's a lot of interesting role plays out there. I'm not super into them, but that's because I'm more into stories than people. Like, I would say screw people, but that's the exact opposite of what I'm doing, isn't it? I'm being antisocial. Haha! That's what we call a joke. I'm not having a lot to say about this game at all. I'm just watching myself suffer to the hands of revenants, and you're going to see that for a while. There was 2 hours of losing here that I cut out, but I left a little bit of what happens here just to give you a better idea of how brutal this part is. They shoved 100 revenants into that little space. 100 revenants. And they don't give you enough ammo throughout the level to really get through all of it. And I think they already gave me a friggin' backpack. They also did not give me a gun that could help out here. So it might be in part that I'm using a mod, and I'm using the La Taylor Girl mod, so I'm not getting the right weapons, but it might also just be a really poorly, maybe not poorly built. This was meant to be challenging, right? This was meant to kick your ass. So, a very strictly built level. That sounds good. Only question I have is why is there no music? I wonder if I turn the music off somehow. Well, I can't really fix that now, but well, I'll take a look later when I'm playing a next mod, or next map. I got some ideas. I'm still going to play ramp, by the way. I know Shallow's doing it, so it's like, you know, 2 people are doing it at the same time, but I like the ramp mod. It's simple, it's quick, it's easy to get into, and doesn't force me to figure out what to talk about for 30 minutes without talking about weird shit for too long, because, God Lord, I just want to be normal. It's kind of true, though. Like, I do just want to be normal. Like, that's a deeper sentence and statement than I want it to be. Been thinking about that a lot lately, actually, as I've been making things and realized how, as much as I love making art, all of my art is just fueling the antisocial nature. It's not stuff I can go and talk to people about. Even the stuff that's more tame, it's like, I got a story about ponies, and the main pony decided that they would try to kill themselves because their life went to hell in the handbasket. And then everyone else tries to make them feel better. But they fail. And then they become God. Do you want to know more? Push this button. And that's not like an easy thing to talk about, and that's like the most normal thing I can think of that I've ever made. I have been thinking about it a lot, though, and realized that there are a lot of tropes and things that I have used over the years. Like, there are certain story elements that I have used since I was like 12 years old and started to make stories. And I get it. I was introduced to things at an early age that probably fucked my brain in terms of what inspires me and what I consider normal. Like, I am so off kilter that it sometimes takes me like a full 10 minutes to figure out something that I was really enjoying or something that I said was not quite normal. That it was even sometimes very not normal and got people to raise an eyebrow and be like, what the fuck? But I wish I could be normal. It would be nice. It'd be easy. I was watching a video about a artist that had basically gone to walk the Appalachian Trail, and it was a pretty good video. But they came to a revelation at the end of like, they can't control their inspiration, and they were asked if they wanted to or not. Now, they said no. They'd rather not control their inspiration. They'd rather just be inspired when it comes and enjoy it. Me, on the other hand, I think I'd rather just turn it all off. If I didn't have that inner drive that told me I had to make something, no matter how fucked up and weird it was, I sometimes think I would just feel better. And I've tried to manually turn it off, right? To just ignore it and not do the thing. And what ends up happening is just years of constant, oh, I got cool ideas that are torturing me every single day, but I'm not working on them because I refuse to. I went through like 3 years of that. And it was awful. And when I finally did get into writing again, and I finally did finish, or well, at least work on most of a story that I'd had stuck in my brain for like 10 years, it was so relieving. The problem is that, the story gets stuck in my brain, and most of the time, those stories are not very pleasant experiences. I don't play with pleasantries very much. Even my comedy is pretty messed up, but it's like, I would say it's messed up but lighthearted. That's a good way to put it. I think my magnum opus is probably still that one time Celestian Luna married the main six. That might always be my magnum opus, the thing I feel is the very best thing I've ever made. It was inspired by another story that was very similar, but the author had unfortunately passed away. And since I can't write the way they were doing, and I don't know where they were going, because I think they were probably just like maybe a third of the way through their story, I decided just to make something that was more of a spiritual successor. The same, sort of like we had the same writing prompt, but did things in our own way, kind of idea. And I feel like I'm pretty decent at that idea. I've done it a few times now, and I feel like it's a pretty good way for me to work on things. But it is a problem where, I don't know, maybe it's a shorthand for not being creative. I've been in a weird spot for the past, I would say, 3-4 months. Like, I got my creative juices flowing again. That's not the issue. I got maybe too much creative juices flowing, though. That's a big problem. Just so many ideas wrapped inside my brain and no way to get them all out. None of them are particularly good in my opinion. Some of them are, but not all of them. A lot of them are rehashes of other ideas I've had before that have failed. And until I take a big break like I'm doing right now, I can't usually jump on those other projects to work on them. And Lord knows that I haven't worked on anything that's been longer than maybe 80,000 words in the past year and a half. The last time I worked on something that got past the 100,000 word barrier, I think it was probably the Pregnant Trixie story. And that was a lot of fun to write and finish. But I haven't had a deep story in a while, something that I could keep working on without problems. It sucked. It's really sucked. Alright, well, I guess we are on the winning run, probably. At least getting close to it. So this video won't last too much longer, probably. I'm not looking at the time. I mean, I am, but not an exact time. It's weird. Lightworks is weird. I don't like it very much, but I use it because it functions for what I need. I feel like I've gotten some good rambling done with this. That's basically all these are anyway. Like, it's just me playing a game with some recorded footage and rambling about whatever comes to mind and trying to trim down the strangest parts.
Shotgun.
Because Lord knows I am a weird person. I desire to be normal, but it's never going to happen. I feel constantly attacked for being strange, like I am an outcast among outcasts, and although I do have a couple of good buddies that help out, it doesn't fix the problems. And so here I am, being a strange creator with no one to talk to, trying to find something I can do, trying to learn to live life and not hate myself for it, and then trying to also work on the ideas that have been plaguing me since I was like 10 years old and played Resident Evil 2 for the first time and haven't been able to make because I didn't have the skill set. But now I'm getting that skill set. Because unlike everyone else who says they have a cool idea but they just can't do it, I have put in the work to learn to draw, to learn to program, to learn to write. I won't say I'm good at any of it, but I am good enough for it. Did I reload? Why did I reload? I was living! Oh, God, I feel like I did something wrong there. Yeah, I recorded this a while ago, like months ago. Like, I don't even remember the bad guy's name. I think it was Kane. We were fighting Kane in our Pathfinder session. And by we, I mean not I. I was an otter and I was breaking into someone's office and stealing their food. But the others were fighting Kane. Alright, that's this video. I'm calling it done because this was not too creepy, not too weird. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and adios.